ride and die for this ending. Oh, it's so cute. I really appreciate this. Queen of Twists and Turns. Welcome back to our channel. My name is Jen. I'm one half of the Reading Girls, and today we are going to explore the last 5 arcs I've read. This is part 2. We're going to explore 6 through 10 of my arcs that I've read this year, or ever. I want to say thank you to NetGalley and all the publishers that let me read these arcs. All the books I've read in this video are 4 stars and above. All these authors I've read before, so this was like a treat to me. I can't wait to share my insights, my true feelings about these books, and hopefully no spoilers, because a lot of these books I'm going to talk about haven't been released yet. At the end of this video, I would say my top favorite out of these 5. This video is mostly to help promote and hype these books. These books were so good, and I'm gonna yap about them until when? Till I go to the grave, probably. And again, these are my opinions, so please read them to justify your own opinions, because again, these were 4 stars and above for me. So, let's dive in. In number 6 spot was Romantic Hero by Christie Goodwin. I gave this 4 stars with a 2 spice rating. In this novel, you're going to find like the classic trope of fake dating, cowboy romance, fish out of water, magical realism to its T. Like, top dog, magical realism. Like, well, anyway, let's talk about the synopsis of this book. I am just going to read this out, so hope you like my voice. Gertie? Yes, Gertie. Bigger Saf writes happily ever afters for a living. ... Or she did, until her own love life falls apart. Now her ex is thriving, her deadline is looming, and she can't write a single word. The last thing Gertie needs is more drama, like waking up to find a confused and rugged cowboy on her sofa. And not just any cowboy, but River Oakley, the villain from her unfinished novel. Somehow, very real, ... and shirtless. River wants to go home. Gertie wants her life back, so they struck a deal. He'll use his cunning ways to help her win back her ex. She'll finish the novel, and surely he'll return to whatever world he rode in from. But as soon River Oakley proves to be so much more than the bad guy, Gertie has to choose the ending she thought she wanted, or the plot twist she never saw coming. Yeah, when I requested this book, I loved it. Like, I'm a huge fan of literary romance, like when authors fall in love while working on their novel. Example, Beach Raid. The situations that happen in this book, like the fake dating tropes, the one bed, was really great. It was very rom-com-y. And so if you're looking for a rom-com-y book that you love literary romance, I truly think this would be a book for you. One of the biggest surprises of this book was the ending. I love the ending. I can't say how it ends, but I'm a huge fan of how this ending happened. Ride and die for this ending. I just love this ending so much. And I truly appreciate the characters. The characters were just so strong. River was complex, and Gertie was complex. And you follow Gertie's grief and finding herself while being in this fake date situation and having to deal with a character from her book coming in her real life. Plus, it's American cowboy in an England setting, so I honestly kind of think of like Clint Eastwood, like one of his classic 60 characters just show up in England and has to be with Gertie. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I really, really appreciate this, but his nickname for her is Owl, and I never like seen that yet because she has big glasses because she's a writer and an owl and she's so smart. Oh, this is so good. I really appreciate that nickname. At first I didn't really like it, but oh, it's so cute. I really appreciate this book. This book is written in first person POV and you just follow Gertie. So this is a standalone currently. I really doubt there will be more into this series. And if I did not say this, I cried in such happiness when I got this book because Love of the Afterlife, when I read this book, I gave this 5 stars. I love this book so much. So reading Romantic Hero, I was so happy. Christy is definitely an auto-buy author for me. Anyway, this book comes out June 16th, 2026, and I think this is going to be very popular in a certain group that if you love a quirky literary character, like a novelist, and just a fun time situation. The only negative I really have to say about this book is it's a literary romance, which I don't think everyone's gonna love that. But that was for me. I love a good literary romance when authors fall in love. So for me, this was like an auto-buy read, or I really love that trope for me, myself. And another big negative about this book is I got really, really confused on how the magical realism was described. And I had to reread it a couple times to really get it out. But that was probably just me and maybe I was just an idiot and I didn't understand it. Anyway, I'm still gonna shout out this book. I love Christy's writing and I can't wait to read more of her. I can't wait to see what she produces next year. These 2 books are like one of my favorite romances because they're very emotionally connected characters. They're quirky, they're a fun time, and I love the humor in this. Just a shout out to this book. This has one of my favorite tropes in it, and I can't even tell you because it has a spoiler trope in it. Anyway, Christy Wood is one of my favorite authors, and I can't wait to read more of her. In the number 7 spot is The Shippers by Catherine Center. I gave this 5 stars. If you know anything about me, I love a good quirky romance character, and this hit so hard. This romance just hits so hard. So let's talk about it. Also, there is no spice in this because I heard that Catherine Center does not do any spice. I just know that Catherine doesn't write spice. So let's read this out. After a whole lifetime of being bad at love, Jojo Burton decides to solve her intimacy issues once and for all at her sister's destination wedding on a cruise ship. With the help of a little pop psychology, she diagnosed herself with a fixation on the neighborhood guy who was her. It actually says her first crush and first kiss. And just so happens to be newly divorced wedding guest. And she decides to woo him during the cruise for some long-delayed closure. One problem is her sister's a little busy being a bride at the moment. So Jojo ropes in her childhood bestie, Cooper Watts, to be her ringman. Cooper, who RSVP'd but then showed up. Anyway, Cooper, who left town without a word 4 years earlier and moved to London. Cooper, who was, if she be honest, the worst heartbreak Jojo's life. It's bliss for her to see him again, and it's agony. And the more they team up for Project Concrest, the more she obsesses over questions she can't bring herself to ask. Shipboard antics ensue in this witty, heart-tugging, childhood friends-to-lovers romance as Jojo and Cooper fake flirt, slow dance, share a cabin, sing duets, treat sunburns, get jealous, rescue each other over and over, and finally, at last, figure it out all in the most blissful, swoon-worthy, romantic way. So if you love friends to lovers, especially childhood best friends to lovers, this book is for you. This book might not have any spice in it, but the banter in this book. So, some tropes in this book are banter, childhood best friends to lovers, some fake dating going on, and definitely the wrong guy first. If I haven't shown you how I truly feel about this yet, I am going to scream this out. This book was so much fun. This gave me true rom-com vibes, that you have this character who just feels so like, you have this character who's so quirky and just, she doesn't have everything going on in her life right now. She's a teacher, so she's like in summer vacation and she just feels very, very lonely. Also, she's a math teacher. I just have to shout that out because it gets brought up in the book, and I just love that little side piece of JoJo. My feelings about this book is just, I had a really good time with it. I was giggling. It was so swoon-worthy romance. What I really love about romance books. That's why I love Catherine Center. It's because lately her books really focus on the character's emotional journey, because again, she doesn't want any spice, so everything has to be emotional, everything needs to be connected, and it can just hit so well. Plus, this is childhood best friends to lovers at its core. You have banter, you have inside jokes, you have them being close because they are close. They know each other since like they're 10 or something, and now they're at like 26. I just really appreciate that this book was so much fun, and I'm gonna be like, this book is probably my top 5 so far this year, because this was so fun. I can't stop saying fun because it was chaotically good. The plot lines sometimes are like worth rolling, and if I didn't say this again, the banter in this book was so elite. I guess the only negative I have about this book is that I thought I was reading a different book when I first started it, because I thought it would start on the cruise ship, but there's a little backstory to the cruise ship, so just be warned, because I think it actually enhanced the story so much better. That's my only negative. I thought I was reading a different book when I first read the first chapter. It just made the character more chaotic. Sorry, I just love this book so much. The Shippers is Catherine's 13th book that she is publishing. This comes out May 19th, 2026. So get your copy. Honestly, it's so much fun. So I had a really, really great time reading this book. 5 stars. On a side note, I did read The Bodyguard 2 years ago, and this was so good too. I give this 4 stars, and this is becoming a movie soon. I think Catherine Center is just a fun time author. Number 8 is Mad Mabel by Sally Hepburn. By the time this video comes out, this book has been published. This came out April 21st, 2026, and I gave this a 4.5 star rating. This is my favorite Sally Hepburn's book so far I've read. And I'm so glad that people have been reading or listening to this book, because it's worth the hype. Honestly, I had so much fun in this book. But let's talk about it. Meet Mad Mabel. Eloise. I'm gonna butcher this name because I have to hear the name to pronounce it correctly, just for who I am. So please bear with me. Eloise Mabel Fitzpatrick is 81 years old. She lived on her idyllic street, Kenny Lane, for 60 years, longer than anyone else. Aside from being a cummerbund who minds everyone else's business, few who suspect that Eloise has a past that she has worked exceedingly hard at concealing. Because when it comes to murder, no one ever expects little girls or old ladies. And Elise Mabel Fitzpatrick, once a little girl and now an old lady, has a strange history of people in her life coming to a foul end. When a new little girl, talkative, curious, and noisy, moves into the neighborhood and stops at nothing to befriend Eloise, her careful, constructed life threatens to come crashing down as the secrets in Eloise's past starting to come into light. Who was Mad Mabel 50 years ago? Who is Eloise Fitzpatrick today? And if the past has a habit of repeating itself, who has the most to lose? So this book really follows, I would consider this a domestic thriller because you are going to have dual timelines. You're going to figure out what's going on in the present to the past when Mabel was only like a kid, whatever her crime has she committed. You're going to find like this found family element as well. There's also a hidden past identity theme going to be in this book. My feelings about this book is that I had a fun time reading it. I was so angry too. I was wanting justice to be served in a way, and when it came to the end, I did feel like there was some justice, but injustice as well. And I have my feelings about this ending. It wasn't my favorite ending, but the story and where it took me emotionally made me put it at a 4.5 star. This book is written in like a first POV writing style, so you are like learning Mabel's feelings, her interactions, her thoughts, what she sees. Something I really appreciate about this novel is the plot. Like the way the timelines like came together, the way that the timelines were talked about and like back and forth. I really appreciate the storytelling of this book. This book hooked me, and I really love when a thriller hooks me in and I have to finish it within a week or a couple days or that day. And that's how I feel about this book. This book will like hook you in, emotionally like make you think. You just want justice for certain characters and justice for all women. I said this before, my biggest dislike was how Mabel's story ended in this book. I won't spoiler it, but it wasn't my favorite, but I also like how the ending did happen, if that makes any sense. This was almost a 5-star read to me, but the ending happened. So because it is a thriller, I did find some things predictable and other things blew me away. I did not see some plot twists coming, and others I saw it coming a long way. Sorry, it's getting hot here now. You can probably see the light coming in. Mad Mabel is my third book by Sally Hepburn. I've read The Soulmate and The Mother-in-Law, and I really love Mother-in-Law. This gave me Mother-in-Law and Mad Mabel are my favorites from Sally Hepburn so far. She's slowly becoming an auto-buy author to me, and I just really appreciate her work. I can't wait to see more of her work. I just fixed the lighting. And number 9 spot is Shadow Reaper by Lynette Noni. Me and my sister actually did buddy read this back in March, and we both came to the same conclusion. We love Lynette Noni. We love Lynette Noni. She is just she is the queen of twists and turns, and I need to run for book 2 in this series. Me and my sister both give this a 4.5 star. We loved it so much, and we can't wait for book 2. But let's talk about what it is. Never bargain with a reaper. The city of Arville is in peril, plagued by a deadly black mist that kills all it touches, and the reapers who roam the street. stealing magic from innocent children in their thirst for power. 17-year-old Veridan Solis. I am so sorry, I'm definitely going to butcher some names in fantasy books. Vernondale Solis has trained for years to hunt these reapers, but the ranks keep growing. Lead by the man who murdered her parents, the notorious Reaper priest. When the priest's most loyal follower, Reeve Ashton, is captured, he offers Vuri a chance to avenge her parents for a price. She knows better than to bargain with a Reaper, let alone this Reaper, but his offer is too good to resist. Soon she'll be breaking him out of prison, colluding with his crew of magic thieves, and following him into the Black Mist Forest in search of the ancient legend, all so they can stop the Reaper priest's plot to doom the city. Vuri is staking her life on Reeve's plan, but how can she trust a civil-tongued criminal to keep his word? And how can she trust her own heart when a buried secret could shatter everything? In this book, you definitely are going to find enemies to lovers. You're going to find quests and heists. You're going to find a found family. Definitely has hunter versus hunted vibes. And I need to tell you, this is a dark YA fantasy. Don't think it's you going in there with a nice, like, oh, it's just a YA fantasy. No, this book is so dark at times. You have these Reapers killing innocent children who often are under 14 years old. It's dark, but it's only YA because it has no spice, and the character is 17. That's literally why it's only a YA book. My feelings about this book is that it's emotionally devastating. I had a fun time reading it, and I love the plot, the world building, the banter of this book. Like, Lynette Noni is becoming, again, an author for me and my sister. I just love her work, and I can't wait to read more of it. Like, seriously, there was some things in this book I was not mentally prepared to read, and it wasn't like dark or anything. It was just how I thought a book would be going, and then this like random side mission, random like plot line would happen, and I, again, really appreciate it. It was something, Lynette was like, hey, I'm gonna put this in here at the most random time, and I'd be like, oh, Lynette, you're teasing me. Oh, Lynette is definitely teasing me. It wasn't a true 5-star read for either me or my sister, because the biggest negative about this book is you have a 17-year-old girl who is annoying. Let's just put it out. Me and my sister got very, like, we got upset with her most times because we were like, she's choosing the wrong decision. She's a hothead. She's very hot-headed. She's like, it's my way or the highway. Why is she giving me Leo energy? Anyway, but the thing about Veri is that she is such a good person in her heart, and I love her so much. Another negative about this book, I have to say, is that I didn't really get into it until the 20% mark. It was just a lot of world building, a lot of information in the beginning, but once the story really takes off, it like takes off. Like, this is why I just appreciate Lynette Noni's writing, because I can't predict anything and everything. Like, there was plot twists in this that I did not even see coming. Like, at the end of the book, I'm like, where's book 2? I need book 2. And I have to wait like a whole year for book 2. Anyway, this book is written in a third-person style, if you like that. If you heard of Lynette Noni, she also wrote the Prison Healer trilogy, and this is like really good, just great plot lines and stuff. I personally only read the first book, and I need to read the next 2 books in this trilogy. I love Lynette Noni's writing at this point. I love her work, and I feel like she's kind of underrated, but she's getting that hype going on. Shadow Reaper comes out June 16th, 2026, and you know me and my sister, we are running to the bookstore to get our physical copy for that. I heard it has spread edges, and I'm really excited about that. And lastly, number 10 is A Pack for Summer by Alalana Lee. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This series is one of my like god tier, why choose romances, so this is going to be spicy. This is very, very spicy series. This is book number 4, and it concludes the series. I give this 4 stars and like 5 chili peppers. Very spicy. Very spicy stuff. So, let's talk about this. This Summer has never been shy about going for what she wants. She just moved into a cute apartment and filled her dreams of opening her very own Vietnamese bakery. Starlight Cove has just found its new lunch obsession, and her friends and family are cheering her on every step of the way. Everything is perfect as long as you ignore the fancy new pastry next door and the water pipe that just burst and flooded her apartment. Faced with the prospects of no home and no bakery, a town meeting offers a lifeline, an offer to work and live along the Bayfort brothers, and who are only in town for the summer. Lucian, a high-powered executive and the eldest Alpha brother. Mercer, the grumpy beta pastry chef she now has to share a kitchen with. And Jay, her tattooed Alpha childhood crush, all grown up. It's the first time the brothers have been together since the breakdown of their parents' pact. With temperatures soaring and the chemistry sizzling with the Omega in their home, it doesn't take much for the temporary living situation turns into a friends with benefits arrangement. But hazy summer days are fleeting, and when tragedy strikes, Summer may need what they cannot give her: a pack. It's book number 4 of a Why Choose Romance series. There's a fly just going around my head. Yes, I'm so much happy. My feelings about this series is it's so god tier. I found it as an indie option, and it got traditionally published. I love the environment. I love the small town. I love every side character. It's just so cozy to me, and I think I just like reading it doing the seasons because each book follows an Omega and finding a pack in their own respective season. One of the biggest surprises in this book, it was so spicy. I would say it's 70% to 30%. 70 to 30. So you have 70% of spice and 30% plotline. Again, nothing's wrong with that. I was just really surprised going into a book because it's not similar to the other books in the series. I just really appreciate that this book gives the small town vibes. They have a cat mayor, they have all the side characters, they're just very chaotic and just quirky at the same time. Plus this series and society, it's common to have packs, it's common to have like male on male romance, female romance, or female, this one pack, this female. It's like a parent pack. I think yes, it is Lucy's parents' packs. It's all female, so just, it's very sexuality fluid series, which I really appreciate. You're just there for the romance, you're there for the spice. Gosh, it's really a spicy series. And if I didn't say this, I just love the cat mayor, Felix, in this whole series. I think there's 2 negatives I have to talk about this book. Is that, one, I don't think the small town has any boundaries, because in the beginning of, I want to kill this fly, like, They literally have a town meeting to vote for Summer to move in with 3 random guys. Yes, you heard that right. The town voted to have Summer move in with these 3 random guys she hasn't met. I think the town was like, you have 3 men and Summer is an omega and she needs to get laid. That's how I'm taking the town. Like, the town has no boundaries at all. They're very judgmental. It does feel like a close-knit community at times, which the most random plot line too. This flies. I'm gonna kill this fly. If you didn't understand the trope, it's friends with benefits and under the one roof trope to its core, which again is one of my negatives, is that it was so spicy. I was not expecting to be like spice, plot, spice. Like, it was 70% spice versus the plot. And I love Summer. I love that she was like, I just need to get laid, and she did. She really did that. She was like, I need these 3 men, and she really did it. But the best positive thing about this series is that it's so good with spice. Like, it's not, I don't feel like it's cringy at all. Like, I never found the cringy, and sometimes it's really hot. Like, whew, sometimes it's hot. So I really appreciate this book because it really follows first POV in multiple POVs, mostly in the female and the male companions. This book is MFMM romance, so I just have to point that out. If these authors do another series, I would love to pick them up because the writing, I felt, just got more enhanced and better through time, and the spice was really good. Like, it is a spicy series. So I can't even not shout the series out. The first book is A Pack for Autumn. It's an MFMM romance. A Pack for Winter is MMFM romance. And this is the smallest one, but this is my favorite of all of them. And it's the same author as A Pack of Summer. There's 2 authors in this series. The biggest book I have so far is A Pack for Spring, and it's by Emily Emerson, like A Pack for Autumn. This is a MMFM romance. I love Lucy so much. She is so sweet and definitely dabble in distress type of vibes sometimes. Most of the time. Our ladies are omegas and they find a pack. This is basically what their series is about in a small town. Also, it's Omegaverse, so you have alpha, betas, and omegas. So I love the series, and I already pre-ordered A Pack for Summer. A Pack for Summer comes out June 16th, and I already pre-ordered this book, so I'm just really excited about it. Those were my last 5 ARC reads. I am so glad that you are at the end of the video, because now I can tell you out of the 5 what I really highly recommend everyone to read. It's Shadow Reaper by Lynette Noni. There's something about this book is so good. I think anyone can read it in their adult lives, even though I gave The Shippers a 5 stars, but that was to me, and I can tell that not everyone would appreciate that book, but I think everyone will love Shadow Reaper. It's just darker, it's Cress, the missions, the plot twist can just be so intriguing. So there's my highly recommended book of the 5. And if I didn't say that, I always want to say thank you to NetGalley and their respective publishers that let me read this ARCs. I had a really great time reading all these 5 books. They're just so magical in their own way, and as you can tell, I like to dip my toes in multiple genres. Well, that concludes my video. I want to say thank you again, and subscribe, like, and comment below, and I'll see you in the next 5. Because currently, I'm working on my 12th.